Good morning, Alice. It's good to see you. How are you doing today?
Hi, Michelle. I'm good. Thank you for having me in your podcast. And yeah, you look so pretty as well.
Oh, likewise. You look great, and I was really appreciative to meet you in the Philippines when we were in Cebu. And so today, I love to hear more because I've been very impressed with what your team has done, and you guys specialize on the freight forwarding side. And so I want to talk more about that today, what the workflow looks like, what the team does, and learn more about those details.
Sure.
Just starting out, what functions is the team fulfilling today?
So the team that I'm handling today are doing logistics accounting and operations, but most of the team are in the accounting department.
Okay, awesome. And then regarding the accounting side, there are a ton of surcharges in ocean and air freight. What type of freight modes is the team overseeing?
You're right. There are a lot of surcharges, especially with the ocean freight invoices. But the modes that we are handling right now in the company with the client is we do ocean, we do air freight, we do import and pharmaceutical freight shipments.
Very nice. And then when it comes to a solution or a specific problem, what have you seen that most impresses you on what the team has been able to do?
Well, the one thing that really impresses me is the automation in the accounting system, because way back when I was working in a corporate setting here in the Philippines, the accounting people are doing accounting job manually. So they do have a lot of spreadsheets, general ledgers, and they do have a lot of boxes for to file the invoices and all the papers needed for accounting. But when the automation has or was invented, it really free up a lot of valuable time for them. And from paper, it went to paperless. And yeah, the reconciliation and the data entry is much more way less of work now.
That's awesome to hear. I think a lot of times when we think of global talent, offshoring, nearshoring, that type of work is like seen as very manual. Whereas like after automation, it's like, what does the new world look like? It's like, well, there is still value added work to do. And so I really like that example. And then I guess moving over to more of just the SOP side, is much of the work like following a standard operating procedure, or is it a lot of like ad hoc having to solve issues and problems as well?
So mainly in the company that we work for or we provide service for, this company is following a standard operating procedure, especially with since they are in the logistics industry. They do have like compliances that they follow, especially trade compliance. So there's this specific governing body that governs their that particular organization. So it's much more easier to to work with that SOP in place because the guidelines are already set.
Yeah, actually, I think in trade compliance, there's more black and white, right? It's more straightforward. We have to be able to comply, or else there's also the consequences to that with what you mentioned. But then when you look at what about the email management side? Is that and disputes? Is that more so? Because those aren't always the same. So how does the team manage that?
So for the email management, in the accounting side, we always make sure that we file away all the emails that has been addressed on, especially emails regarding bill disputes. So our team is allowed to communicate with clients in the form of email. Excuse me. And so we make sure that every bill disputes, we give a solution to it, but in the next 24 to 48 hours. Or if 48 hours is really not enough, then maybe give discount to the customer or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's more so like it's not more black and white, the trade compliance side. There's multiple aspects to the job. And then with the communication, with the email management, or there's any voice calls, is it directly with customers in the US, or what does that look like?
So in the company that we provide service for, we are only allowed to communicate with clients via email. So we are not handed with the phones. We're not given soft phones. So and we don't accept calls from vendors or customers or suppliers. So all of the communication are through email, and we communicate with our clients, customers, vendors directly to them.
Got it. Yeah, I think on the freight forwarding side versus like the US domestic freight or North American freight, I think communication via email is easier on the freight forwarding side because there's so much documentation that you
Yes,
pass back and
I
forth
agree.
that you really
Yes,
need
and
that
all,
chain.
right. So we really need to have that email thread. It's better.
Absolutely. And then I have one last question for you, Alice. What's your favorite thing about your job?
Well, there are a lot of things I love about my job. First is I get to work with a lot of talented people, smart people, onshore and offshore team. The onshore team I really appreciate because the clients that we are working with right now are very collaborative. They let us collaborate with them. They let us or they ask us our ideas. They let us feel that we are a part of the team. And lastly, the work-life balance. Since we're remote professionals, we get to work anywhere. And so those are the things I love about my job.
Oh, I love that. Love that our client has a good culture because our values people first. So being inclusive and having everyone feel like they're a part of one home, one globe, one team. So I really like that. Well, thank you so much, Alice. I look forward to seeing you soon in the Philippines and have a great morning. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Thank you.